The sound of laughter echoed through the chandelier-lit lobby of the Grand Plaza Hotel, an echo of mockery that should have never been spoken. The laughter was coming from behind the golden reception desk, and all eyes in the marble lobby turned toward a small boy who refused to lower his gaze. His name was David Washington, and though he was only 12, he stood as if he had been standing against the world for a long time. Before the story unfolds, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because what happens next will remind you that dignity and power never come from money, but from how you rise when others try to shame you. The hotel's manager, Kevin Martinez, grinned as if he'd discovered something amusing. "I'll give you the best suite if you have the balance," he said, shaking his head as he looked down at the boy's tattered sneakers. The words, mocking, condescending, bounced off the marble, causing a ripple of snickering among the guests. The fur-coated woman, the suited businessman, the polished doorman, all of them looked and judged. David, clutching a worn backpack and an old cell phone, slid a crumpled reservation paper across the counter. "Sir, I have a reservation," he said. His voice was calm, but his eyes were not the eyes of a child. They were the eyes of someone who had seen too much. Kevin took the paper as if it was contaminated. "Presidential suite for a week. Kid, that's $40,000. Did you steal this name from a real guest?" The paper flapped in his hand as he waved it before the crowd. "Look everyone, a little con artist trying to play rich." David didn't flinch. "It's a real reservation." But the more the boy stayed calm, the louder the laughter grew. Kevin leaned closer. "Do you even know what a credit card looks like, boy? I bet you don't even have a bank account." David's hand clenched around the old teddy bear keychain on his backpack. He thought of his grandfather, of the call from the lawyer 3 days ago. "David, there's something about your inheritance you need to know." But right now, all that mattered was one thing: dignity. Because when the world wants to laugh at you, you have a choice, to shrink or to rise. And David refused to shrink. By now, the hotel lobby had become a stage. Kevin Martinez, who had worked at Grand Plaza for 15 years, had become the star of a cruel performance. He motioned for his team to gather. "Everyone come here. Look, a little businessman wants our presidential suite." He looked back at David, eyes full of malice. "Tell me, kid, do you even know where the bathroom is in your own house?" The crowd laughed. The laughter was different now. Too loud, too cruel. David's voice cut through the noise. "Mr. Martinez," he said quietly, "can I speak to your supervisor?" That made Kevin laugh even harder. "My supervisor? Kid, I am the supervisor. This is my house. You're just another kid who doesn't belong here." He didn't know that this boy had grown up cleaning floors beside his grandfather, who had spent decades polishing the same marble floors Kevin now stood on. He didn't know that this child had heard stories of hardship, of legacy, and of a man named Jonathan Washington, stories that would soon flip the entire narrative. "Ladies and gentlemen," Kevin said with a smirk, "let's hear how this boy plans to pay $40,000 for a week. What are you gonna do, kid? Sell lemonade on the sidewalk?" David finally looked up. "Mr. Martinez, do you believe that appearances always tell the truth about a person?" The question hung in the air. "What does that have to do with anything?" Kevin barked. "You're wasting my time." David's tone didn't change. "Because I'm looking at you, sir. Someone who pretends to own this hotel when all he really does is serve guests who do." The lobby went dead silent. The manager's smile faltered, replaced by a flush of red. "Security," he shouted. "I'll have you dragged out of here." "Sure," David replied. "But first, would you like to see if my reservation is actually real?" Kevin sneered. "You want to bet? If you can pay, I'll carry your bags myself. But when I prove you're lying, you'll never step in a hotel again." David smiled. "Perfect." The boy's hand moved into his jacket pocket. The manager leaned in to make sure everyone could see. When David's hand reappeared, it was holding a sleek, matte black card, the kind that seemed to swallow the light around it. The laughter returned, but not from everyone. Some of the senior staff behind the desk looked pale. Kevin, however, didn't notice. Seriously, did you make that thing out of cardboard? He snatched the card from David's hand. Let me guess, he mocked. You're going to tell me this card has no limits? That you're the son of some billionaire? David didn't respond. He simply turned to another woman behind the counter. Ma'am, could you please check this card? Before she could, Kevin blocked her. No, I'll do it. We'll end this joke right now. But before he could swipe, David's old cell phone began to ring. Actually, he said, I'll make a quick call first. The call connected. Morrison and Associates. This is Dr. Richard Morrison. David put the phone on speaker. Dr. Morrison, this is David Washington. Can you confirm the amount deposited in my account yesterday? The lawyer's tone shifted instantly. Of course, David. The initial deposit of $15 million from your grandfather's estate was successfully processed. The remaining assets and properties are being transferred as we speak. The sound of gasps rippled through the crowd. Kevin's color drained from his face. Thank you, Dr. Morrison, David said. The hotel manager had some questions about my reservation. The lawyer's voice sharpened. David, are you being treated with disrespect? Your family owns several hotels, including some the Grand Plaza partners with. Should I be speaking to their corporate office about this? Kevin's hand shook. No, sir. There's no problem. David looked up at him. Then please, Mr. Martinez, let's check the card. Kevin swiped. The screen blinked. Transaction approved. Available balance: $15,247,891.33. The color drained completely from Kevin's face. Mr. Martinez, David said, you promised to carry my bags personally. It was over. The manager's arrogance crumbled into shame. But the lesson hadn't finished yet. David took his phone again. Dr. Morrison, one more question. What should I do when someone accuses me of theft, mocks my race, and humiliates me publicly? The lawyer's voice was cold as steel. That's called racial discrimination and defamation. You can sue the hotel, and the story will make national news. Kevin's voice cracked. Please, I didn't mean to. I have a family. David stepped closer. When you laughed at me, did you think about my family? The elevator doors opened. The general manager stepped out, stern, furious. Martinez, my office. Now. Then he turned to David. Mr. Washington, I'm deeply sorry. This behavior is unacceptable. As Kevin's career ended, David walked toward the elevator, this time escorted by the general manager himself. The boy who was once mocked for his old sneakers was now walking toward the presidential suite that his own money had paid for. 3 months later, David used part of his inheritance to launch a foundation for underprivileged children. I don't want them to be ashamed of who they are, he told his lawyer. I want them to know that when you face humiliation, you don't have to become the story. You can be the lesson. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is rise above the laughter. And as you remember this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that remind us. The real power is never in money, but in how you use it when no one believes you have it.